I want to introduce you to my baby, my new baby. Her name is Princess Bella Stella. Yes, she is a rescue kitty, and she's adopted. And I've had her for like, oh, I'd say about 3 or 4 months now. All right, 3 months, maybe 3. No, November, December, January, February. Yeah, about 4 months, almost close to 4 months. And I rescued her because I was missing my Niño Chico. And he passed away last year, and I miss him so much. And so I went to the animal shelter, and I almost gave her back. She's a little skittish. See, she's a little, very skittish. And we have developed a relationship, and I just love her. She's my little baby. So I have a little shirt on her, and that keeps her from going crazy, because she goes crazy. And so for her not to scratch my couches and terrorize my little small space, I put this on her, and it kind of calms her down. And then she goes from 100 to a -5, and see how she's watching me. She listens to me. She's not. So I wanted to show you that real quick before we got started. So, okay, so I'm going to wash my hands, and she's really sweet. It's a challenge to bathe her. Yes, I bathe her. But she's already spoiled. I spoiled her. That's as I do all my animals. Anyways, okay. So I have this pot, belonged to my mom, and I have my, as you see, I've already done my my rolled up, my cabbage rolls, which has the barley in them. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I put it on this cast iron skillet, and I have just a little bit of oil in there. I put a little bit of grapeseed oil. So if you want, you can put the olive oil. And I like to have it, you know, slightly charred on the bottom. And the reason why, I don't want direct heat, so I put it on the griddle, which has the fire on the bottom. And that's going to give it a nice little sizzle. Sizzle and nizzle. Okay. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is allow that to sizzle a little bit. I just kind of cook that, and then I take some of that. What I ended up doing was I took the liquids. Now, if you want to keep it vegan, use the liquids from the cabbage itself. And then what I'm going to do is, and then you can make a sauce, like a nice sauce with this. Just pour some of this stock in there. Just allow it to simmer. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and just allow that to cook. I'm going to cover it, allow it to cook for a little bit. Now, I do have a marinara sauce that I canned. I did can this, and I'm going to go ahead and use it. It's my eggplant, zucchini, no, it's got zucchini marinara sauce that I made this last season. And I'm going to take some of this. Well, that's a little bit too big. So I'm going to take one of my spoons here that I used. Okay, and then I'm just going to pour a little bit over that. That's beautiful marinara sauce that I made. So nice, and I usually strain it. When I make it, I go ahead and I strain it just to get all those other little fibers out of there. I'm just going to pour that over like this. Okay. And then I'm going to just allow that to simmer for about a good 30 minutes. Now, I have my other one that's heating up. And these are my beautiful, those are collards with the meat. And I'm going to go ahead and lower that. Okay, we'll turn that around because you have to find your hot spot. Let that cook. Put that aside. And so basically this is a braise. And that's what you're doing. You're braising. That's a technique and that's a method. You're braising. Nice. And I'm going to go ahead, allow that to simmer a little bit. And while that's simmering, it's my favorite, it's having a little drink. That's good wine. And it was reasonably priced. Okay, just allow that to simmer. And then I'm going to take this. I'm going to braise it. Some liquids. You can add some wine if you'd like, but I'm not going to. And because this has meat in it, I'm going to add a little bit more. So I want this to simmer really well. And this is my chicken stock that I made. It's been cooking all day. As you see, oh, it's mostly broth. I have a lot of fats in it, and I have the bones, and then I have, well, you could tell. And I put some veggies in there, and that's going to be a nice stock. So I'll fill it up because I don't want it to burn on the bottom. Make sure. And then go ahead and take the rest of my marinara sauce. Just pour it over there, over the allow it to simmer. Okay, and then you just allow it to simmer. And yeah. It's really fascinating how these foods, how you can turn these foods into something that's so simple, and you can turn something so simple into a beautiful dish, and for a family meal, or for just to have special, or even in a restaurant, or if you're catering. This is just a beautiful way to just enjoy. I mean, this is a food memory. And it's just a little bit on the Mediterranean side, but I use the collard greens because it's our sustainable food, number one, and number two, they're easy to use, and they're rich in so many nutrients, and even after you blanch them, and even when you blanch them, I mean, I mean, I usually discard the water when I blanch them. You can, because I don't really rinse them out. I just blanch them, so I discard the water. But if something like a cabbage, you can pull it apart, and I would save the water. But you can save the water with the collard greens, but I feel safer because the cabbage is together, and so it's like safe in its own, whereas the leaves are loose on the collards. So that's why I choose to discard the water after I blanch the collard greens. And besides that, you can always use a vegetable stock if you want to make it a vegan type of meal. Well, and so but there you have it. I'm going to allow this to simmer. I'm going to bring this up to a boil. See, this is already, I'm going to lower this. This is already boiling, so I want to lower it. I'll show you real quick. Okay, there we go. Lower that, and I'm going to lower that, and then I'm going to allow this. I'm going to bring this up to a boil. Oh, it's not bringing up to a boil. Then you want to go ahead and do the same thing. Make these beautiful. So it's just bringing collard greens to a whole different level. A whole different level, the collard greens. So there you have it. I'm going to allow that to simmer. It's going to simmer for a while. Oh, for about a good half hour. Once I bring it up the heat, then you want to bring it down. You want to allow it to simmer for about a good 45 minutes because you want to make sure that that meat cooks. And the cabbage, it only requires about 20-25 minutes. But the stuffed collard greens, because it has the meat in there, I would simmer them until they're totally cooked. So there you have it. I hope that's helpful. Okay, happy St. Patrick's Day.